Okay, what's going on, guys? How's things? I just wanted to come on live. Small bit of a delay because of how ridiculously busy I am today, kind of like every other day. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Probably not going to bring on anyone live today, but if you guys have any questions, and why don't you guys, impress me and try and ask me a question which, doesn't fall into the category of, the common questions that I get, which is just like, hey, what can I eat? Hey, what do I do about a spike? Hey, basic question this, basic question that, easy to answer. You can go into my YouTube channel and search in the channel on your desktop, and you can actually see, you can type in something like hyperacusis, alcohol, coffee, mitochondria, fasting, sunlight, mold, stress, muscle release, how long does it take to get silence, and a video will pop up right then and there. However, I understand that, with tinnitus, especially when you're new to this world, especially when you're new to tinnitus, I had a Skype call the other day with a lovely lady, and I won't, obviously tell too much about her situation, but she was very nice, and she was, I was a little bit concerned about her because of just the stress that she was going through, and because tinnitus is an awful thing. It's beatable, but it's an awful thing, and she had it for, I think, like 6-7 months in total or something, and after following my advice, her tinnitus started going down. But even then, it's still scary because people think, am I going to have to live with this forever? People just have this common sort of thought pattern, which is very warranted when you think about all the tinnitus experts that say it's for life, and people think. But I think the scariest thing about tinnitus that people experience is when they think, okay, well, the noise isn't that bad. For some people, it's very bad. For some people, it's not so bad. But for both of those people think it's not so bad, but if I had to live with this forever, I couldn't do it. And that's where the crippling fear and the crippling anxiety comes from. And when people have that, they, the capacity to use logic and think critically and, make rational decisions and put in concise, specific effort kind of goes out the window. I know that it definitely did for me when I first had tinnitus. I mean, for those of you who are new to this page, I had tinnitus and hyperacusis for 4 years. I've had silence now for about 5 years, and I've been helping people pretty much for 5 years now. To the point now where I've basically become the go-to guy for tinnitus. I mean, even this lady I was speaking to the other day on Zoom or whatever you want to call it, she was saying that the reason she found out about me is because one of the top ENTs in the whole of Pennsylvania wrote a book on how he silenced his hyperacusis and tinnitus, and in the back of the book it references me, and I've never even spoken to this guy. I don't even know who he is. It references me as basically the number one reason why he now has silence. He silenced his ears. So it's pretty amazing, and that happens a lot. I mean, I get people sending me emails saying that their ENTs recommended me, or that their friends recommended me, and a lot of the time, if they're a famous musician or an actor or a politician or whatever, they'll say their agent found me, and their agent will connect us together, and we'll do like a 3-way call, and it's, the whole NDA thing prevents me from saying who it is, but a couple of people have already figured out who they are. So just think about that the most famous people on planet Earth, who can't even walk down the fucking street without being mobbed, come to me for help. Now, that's impressive, it is, but the reason I'm telling you that is because there's not some, within reason there is, there's not some, secret tinnitus situation where there's hidden information that you have to be famous and pay $200,000 to get into that only rich people get access to, and us peasants can't get it. It's not like that. The information on my page has garnered the most cases of silence, the quickest, the safest, and kept them for the most people on planet Earth. if someone else has access to or is aware of or knows of someone else who's doing it better than me, or is even close to doing what I do, you know, without medication, surgery, or spending like $5,000, which is fucking crazy, then let me know. But I haven't found it because it doesn't exist. That's a fact. So let's go through some questions. Hey, I'm doing a parasite cleanse on wormwood, 10 drops 3 times a day. How long would you continue? 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Yeah, 3 weeks on, 1 week off is good, because when you kill the parasites, then you have to stop taking it and wait for the eggs to hatch, and then you kill the babies. So it's very interesting. How does mitochondrial dysfunction impact tinnitus? Well, when you hear something in the air, that's the interesting thing, is you're not actually hearing anything. What's happening is when I do this, a sound wave travels through the air, it hits your outer ear, it goes down the ear canal through the tympanic membrane, which is your eardrum, and it hits the 3 little bones in your ear, the ossicles called the malleus, incus, and stapes, in that order. The malleus connects to the eardrum, the stapes connects to the cochlea, and the incus is in the middle, and it kind of goes a piston into the cochlea, and that causes a ripple in the lymph inside of the cochlea. It causes an electronic charge to be created, which travels down the stereocilia into the base of the cell. And in order for that vibration to be turned into an electronic charge, which travels through the vestibular cochlear nerve into the 2 auditory regions of the brain, in order for vibration to be transformed, and it is transformed into an electronic pulse, and to be interpreted as me talking right now, what's happening with you right now is a process called mechano-electrical transduction. Mechanical vibration into electrical transduction. And that requires a lot of energy. That requires a lot of adenosine triphosphate. And if you don't have adequate amounts of adenosine triphosphate, or your mitochondria isn't working properly, so you have the cells in your body, right? You have the hair cells, you have the base of the hair cells, which inside of the cell you have the intracellular organelles, which is like the endoplasmic reticulum, you have the mitochondria, you have the nucleus, yada, 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 you have everything like that. Oops. Inside of the mitochondria, you obviously have the matrix in the middle, and you have the 2 membranes. The electron chain process takes place in there. So when you eat something, by the way, it essentially is being broken down into electrons. It passes through 4 complexes, the electrons, that's called electron chain transport system, and as a byproduct, it's not necessarily the main purpose of that, but it's one of them. A byproduct of the electron chain transport system, as long as the electron makes it through the 4 complexes, a byproduct that is the creation of the chemical adenosine triphosphate, which the mechano-electrical transduction process requires in large amounts, often, okay, to be able to transform the sound waves of this into electrical impulses down through the vestibular cochlear nerve into the auditory region of the brain, where you process it as hearing. Now, there's many different things that impact mitochondrial dysfunction and can actually impede upon the electron chain transport system. Remember, you can actually, if electrons fall out in between any of those complexes, it's most likely to be complex 1 and 2. You can take CoQ10, you can take niacin, which is a B vitamin, to help you offset the problems with that. If electrons fall out of the complexes before making it to the end, they turn into free radicals, and they cause inflammation by stripping electrons from all over the body. It's a complicated system. But all you need to know is that you need to understand, and a great way to understand this is to read, you can research Dr. Lee Know, Leeknoy. You can read his book on mitochondria. You can go and read Jerry Tennant's book, which is Healing is Voltage. Jerry Tennant, Tennant. By the way, guys, the information you need to know on tinnitus, first of all, it's on this page. Okay? But if you want to know how to silence tinnitus, the worst thing that you can do is Google or YouTube how to silence tinnitus. Because all you're going to get is a bunch of fucking retards who don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to silence tinnitus. They just think habituation is your only option. They wouldn't be able to explain to you exactly how I meticulously explained the mitochondria's role in hearing, and how when it's impacted negatively, hearing can falter while you get tinnitus, okay? That's not to say that hearing loss is the cause of tinnitus. I just think generally that when you have mitochondrial dysfunction, the transduction process doesn't work. That causes inflammation. That causes the symptom of ringing, buzzing, sharing, whirring, popping, whooshing, cracking, popping. People can experience fullness in the ears. That can be due to mold. It's a complicated fucking process, okay? But there's many, many different things that can impact mitochondrial function. Like, for example, if you take a statin, you're poisoning yourself. If you take antidepressants or sleep medications, you're poisoning yourself. If you don't get enough sleep, that's a problem. If you don't get enough sun, that's a problem. If you're a vegan, that's a problem. If you're not exercising enough, that's a problem. You know, if you're using Bluetooth headphones, which I'll be honest, sometimes I use at the gym because it's easier, but I really don't use it because I get headaches. If you're staring at a computer without blue blockers, like I am now, these are not blue blockers, these are regular glasses, but I use the computer so much that I'm bloody going blind. You know, many, many different things impact it. And what you have to realize is that's how I came up with the term, the Domino Theory. Because everyone thinks, oh, well, Liam, you know, I got tinnitus after I took amitriptyline, the sleep medication, or finasteride, the hair medication, or Accutane, the acne medication, or lorazepam, the antidepressant, or I started taking a contraceptive pill, which is obviously birth control, or I started taking, you know, Tren to grow muscles, or I blah, 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 whatever it is. And I think, so Liam, how do I offset the problem caused by the drug? Yes, that's a problem, but it's all mitochondrial dysfunction. That's what it is. Now, if you took the wrong kind of drug, you probably wrecked your kidneys as well. You're probably going to need to take berberine, and you know, you're probably going to need to do a bit of dry fasting to turn on ADH, which is an antidiuretic hormone, which can actually slow down the filtration in the kidneys and give them a break. It's a whole thing. But yeah, that's how mitochondria impacts tinnitus, and it's very complex. But sorry guys. Comprehension is harder than application. And I got to be honest, guys, a big mistake that I see people doing is like when I say, guys, do this, this, and this, and they go, yeah, but why? Like, I'm the kind of person who needs to understand before I do it. No, you're fucking not. You're not. You're just trying to make an excuse to not apply the stuff that you know you need to apply because it's hard. I don't want to hear about how you want to know this, that, and the other thing. It's all in my course. It's all on my page. Go do it. I'm not telling you guys to get open heart surgery. I'm not telling you guys to take part in an experimental drug trial like most idiots did in the last 3 years. I'm not telling you guys to spend $5,000. It's simple, it's safe, it makes sense. There we go. There you go. Okay, I've been improving on my tinnitus, but I'm lost on where to start on eustachian tube dysfunction. Even after my septoplasty surgery a year ago, I still get clogged nasal passageways. Have you done an inhalation? Why can I not get sleep on fasting days and how to fix it? You can't fix it. It's just one of those things. You'll be fine. How does methylene blue help tinnitus? I don't know enough about it, but I believe it has something to do with mitochondrial function, but I haven't even began to look into it. It's not really at the top of my list, so yep. Hey Liam, is a type 1 vascular loop the reason for tinnitus, and is it curable, or would try it for tinnitus 3? First of all, I don't claim to cure anything, so let's get that word out of there. What exactly is a type 1 vascular loop? I don't think unless I know it by a different name, I'm not sure what that is. Thanks Liam, appreciate your reply, you're welcome. You look Asian with your glasses. Yeah, well, I live in Thailand, so maybe I fit in. And I kind of have... Won't get into that anyway. So questions like this, guys. Hi, Liam. I'm suffering from tinnitus and V, so I guess visual snow. How much time it needs to cure? Again, I don't claim to cure anything. And there's literally no way I could ever answer that question accurately. You apply my advice, you get silence, and then you have to tell me how long it took. Thoughts on methylene blue? Again, I'm not against it. I'd say go for it. V is in visual snow. I have visual snow, but it's been gone lately with Liam's advice. Yeah, my advice gets rid of, well, it has, I can't claim anything again, but in the past, tinnitus, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, Meniere's disease, visual snow and hearing loss. It's reversed that in fucking countless people. And what I want to say before about, I forget what I was mentioning before, but I was saying something about, that ENT who mentioned me in the back of his book. You know, when people say, well, Liam, you know, how many people do your course and how many people get results? Haven't got a fucking clue. Haven't got a clue. Most people who buy my course and apply it, I never speak to, because there's so many people joining, because everyone knows this is the course to be in, so they join it. I wouldn't even have time to talk to anyone. There's freaking so many people. And they do the course and they get silence. And unless there's some situation for us to for them to get in contact with me in the future, most people, like I get sent stuff from, you know, someone will send me a screenshot and be like, hey, I was on this forum and they were talking about you. And this one guy said him and his friend got silenced. I look at their names and I'm like, I've got no clue who these people are. I've got no idea. Someone will send me a video and it's like someone from a year ago or last week who's done a YouTube video on me, and it's like, I did this guy's Liam's course and it fixed my tinnitus, and I was like, I've got no idea who that is. So there's so many people. I literally have I've tried emailing people and keeping in contact, but some people just prefer their privacy. You know, it's a medical condition. Some people just don't want to talk about their medical situation on the internet. They just want to get rid of their tinnitus, forget they ever had it, and get on with their life, and that's fine. So, you know, for people who ask me how many people is this fixed, enough. And more than any other course on planet Earth, it is the quicker, safer, keep silent, and it's the cheapest thing there is. So if that's not good enough for you, then I don't know. Hey Liam, can you please repeat the supplements for tinnitus? Well, I mean, it depends. You know, parasite cleansers, mold, stuff for mold, iodine, selenium, probably Cataplex B and G from Standard Process, those things to start. The number one, you know what the number one supplement for tinnitus is? Liver and sunlight. That's like that's the main thing for tinnitus. Is get all the B vitamins from liver, get all the nutrients from liver, get all the fat soluble vitamins from liver, get the cholesterol. When you have enough cholesterol in your system, you can synthesize vitamin D3 from the sun, and that's like 50% of the vitamins and minerals that you need right there. So you don't need to take all this complicated shit. Good question. What's better, more frequent, shorter fasts or longer, less frequent fasts? Longer, less frequent. Is there any lotions, toothpaste, body wash, or deodorant that you recommend, or do we just limit them? Very good question. I have just been using regular toothpaste recently, even though it's total dog shit, like, you know, with all the crap in it, the fluoride. Like, I just use Colgate just because it's all I have access to at the moment, but it's crap. You can get activated charcoal and use that as toothpaste. I've seen that's quite good. In terms of body lotions and things like that, I just have like a loofah, a natural loofah. I just scrub my whole body with that like twice a week, the whole body, head to toe. And I just get natural coconut oil and just cover my body in that, and I'm soft and I smell good. And when you eat well and you exercise and you sleep well, you don't tend to really have that much body odor. I'm speaking about myself here, so I really don't smell that bad really ever, even in Thailand. And so I don't really use, deodorants or things like that. And in terms of my hair, I haven't used shampoo or conditioner in like 2 years, and my hair is soft as shit. It's short. It's going to be different for women. I get that. But, Asante Organics, I've heard is good. So give that a go. Okay. Just cleaned my air conditioners from all the mold inside. It was bad. Hope I will start the Domino Theory. Exactly. Guys, this is why I say, there's never just one cause of tinnitus. Fundamentally, and with rare exception, tinnitus is due. The symptom of tinnitus is brought on from long-term mitochondrial damage. And that can be caused by mold, parasites, lack of sunlight, nutritional deficiency, stress, posture problems. The list goes on. So cleaning your air conditioning, cleaning the water cooler in your fridge from mold, look, doing a mold test, all these different things. I mean, root canals can contribute. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. That's why if you ever see someone online that says like, oh, the solution to mold is the solution to tinnitus is this one supplement, or the solution to tinnitus is, this brain retraining. It's like, how the fuck is brain retraining going to fix an infected root canal, a parasitic infection, lack of sunlight, sleep problems? Total scam. It's like when I see people like, oh, fucking God, give me mercy. When I see people who are like, oh, there's a new study coming out, and it's like, you strap these electrodes to your tongue, and it's like, just fucking kill me. I want to play one person Russian roulette until I'm taken from this world and I finally get peace from this bullshit. Because a lot of the times, it's just, so I did a talk with Bart K. So about 3 days ago, I interviewed Bart K for my channel, and it was pretty interesting. And he's editing it now, so hopefully he'll send it to me, well, maybe today or tomorrow. And I'll put that up, and we talk about the corruption of science and how people don't understand science. And it's very interesting, and why cholesterol is a good thing, and you need cholesterol, and statins are a bad idea. And just everything that everyone's been told about scientific literature, about scientists, scientific establishments, scientific universities, scientific research, all this sort of stuff is all basically, it's being manipulated and you're being lied to. And so when people come to me and say, oh, well, Liam, especially my detractors who literally have been dropped on their head once a week since they've been 5 years old or 1 year old. And they say, oh, Liam, there's a new scientific paper. Like these are tenured professors who are showing that there's this new, it's like, you think that just because a study is peer reviewed or the professor has tenure, that they're incorruptible and they're not greedy. Get a fucking grip. Get a grip. Science, if you guys haven't realized by now that science, okay, is the most corrupt industry on planet Earth since the last 3 years, you need something. You need to be probably lobotomized. Seriously, like get a fucking grip. I mainly tried to eat meat for 6 months, but recently started to lose weight and feeling extremely fatigued. Is it a big thing if I add? Is it a big thing if I add in carbs? No, you guys, nobody needs to eat nothing but meat to get silence. There's maybe even 1 or 2 people, but no one should just be going, oh, I'm just going to eat nothing but meat. It's a bad idea if you do it too quickly. Add back in the carbs, totally fine. Loving the book, great. I'm very glad. I'm glad you like it. Is it okay to sometimes eat 100% cocoa? Yeah, it's fine. And dye the hair with henna. Yeah, like the henna ink. I don't know about the henna thing, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But I've seen people have like allergic reactions and things like that. So what's so bad about white hairs anyway, I've got a couple of white hairs and the ladies like it. I use Hello fluoride free. Okay, that's great. Liam, you said vegan is not good to get silence, but I watched a testimonial on your YouTube channel that a lady yeah, so guys, remember, I talk so much about food because it's the main thing that people are concerned about. That makes sense because most people eat shit and everyone's basically a food addict. You use food as a reward. People use food to quash their emotions. People eat food when they're bored. People use food to socialize. Like most people when they meet up with their friends, they'll generally be going to eat something, right? But there's so much more that you can do outside food. And that's why I've had plenty of vegans and vegetarians get silence while staying vegan or vegetarian. And all they have to do is just focus more on the other things like sunlight, grounding, fasting, exercise. So it's definitely possible. It's just going to be a little bit harder. I love Bart K. Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's great. Thought I wouldn't get silence with hernia mesh, but working on mitochondria in every other way should cancel it out. Yeah, I have a couple of people with hernia mesh, and that stuff is pretty toxic. Like it leaks estrogen into your body and God knows what else. Probably it's not plastic though, is it? It's something else. But Yeah, I've had people get silenced mesh. Does water fasting induce autophagy? Yes, definitely it does. Definitely. So questions like this: why does tinnitus go down some days and spike again another day? It just is what it is. Like, you know, I don't have I'm not like a fly on your wall in every wall that you ever enter in your life. I don't know exactly what you're doing. And most of the time, you know, something that you did like 3 days ago causes a spike today. You know, if you have an allergic reaction to something or you're stressed about something, it can happen. So when you're looking at silencing tinnitus, look at the difference like every 3 months, not every 3 days. So you need to have like a broader spectrum and kind of reset your expectations. And as hard as it is, if your tinnitus is quiet today and loud tomorrow, who gives a fuck? Who cares? As long as you're doing the right thing and you're taking positive action and you're not messing up too much, then you should be very proud of yourself. You know? So, you know, as the best advice I can give you is, you know, if you want to know why is my tinnitus loud today and quiet tomorrow, who fucking cares? Just keep doing the advice and keep applying it. How to reduce chronic head pain from a head injury? Well, I mean, that's not what I do. You know, I strictly, you know, I'm in the world of tinnitus. I don't know, man. Maybe see a physio, something like that. Just don't get addicted to pain medication would be my advice, because I've seen people get addicted to OxyContin, Tramadol, you know, that sort of shit. Do you think having a sip of water when taking medication during a dry fast is okay, or better to wait until off of all the meds? I mean, it depends what the medication is. Like if you need to take the medication with food, then you should take it with food. It depends. It depends what the medication is. And I hope you guys are enjoying the book. I have to get, I'm getting about 250 more copies printed. So if you're still waiting for your book, remember guys, I started taking pre-orders 3 months ago. Remember it said on the website, pre-orders. So if you're saying, hey Liam, ordered 3 months ago, wondering where the book is, I only started shipping them out 20 days ago. So just remember that, you know, there are only pre-orders previous to then. Liam, your opinion about implants. I have root canals in the front of my mouth and planning to get them out soon. We'll go for an implant. Yeah, you can get I would just get a screw-in titanium implant, something like that. Make sure it's what you want to do, you know, but I guarantee you, when you get a root canal taken out, you're going to have probably a pretty bad infection. Do you watch cricket? No, I'm not a fan, man. Sorry. I know I'm Australian, but you know, my father used to take me to cricket when I was young to the MCG in Melbourne, Victoria, and it was so boring. I remember just being in like physical pain about how boring it was. Can we eat the same food group with, let's say, 30 minutes of each other? I would say probably give it like 5 hours, because otherwise you're going to turn on the Randall cycle and cause inflammation. Good question. How much sun and grounding is recommended each day? As much as you can get without getting burnt. How can I order your book if I've already purchased your Tinnitus Free program? Send me a DM. I'll send you the link. Just stay away from mercury tooth implants. Yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, doesn't that make you wonder? Make you just like think for a second, like, you know, especially in America, like the ADA, the American Dental Association, was green lit by the FDA or another governing body of the American government, that it was okay to put mercury in your tooth. Like, how does that conversation even come up unless you're being malicious? It's fucking ridiculous. Spikes before or while having periods for women are hormones or blood related. What should we do to avoid these spikes? Yeah, that's a very common thing. I have lots of women who, as you said, when it's a couple of days before their menstrual cycle, or before their period, or during, they do tend to get spikes. I think it's hormonal related, and I know that when a woman is on her period, she can the electrical components of her body changes. It's kind of foreign territory to me. I haven't done a big look into it, but I don't think there's a whole lot you can do about that, to be honest with you. But I can tell you that many, like 50% of the women who come to me with tinnitus have this problem. And when they get rid of their tinnitus, that problem goes away too. So yeah. Went to the gym 2 days ago and I am sore as hell. Right guys, we'll just do a couple more minutes and then we'll call it a day. I'll put this video on YouTube so you can go through it and have a look. See. How much high intensity interval training is too much? Is 3 times a week good? Yeah, that's what I do. I do like 3 times a week. I work out for maybe, 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week. Does tinnitus come back after getting silence, or do we have to follow all your advice and course throughout our life? No, so once you get silence, just keep doing what got you silence for about 3 months, and then you only have to do a bit of maintenance, like maybe 10% of what got you to silence will keep you silent. And those are just best practices, like don't smoke weed, don't drink too much, still get sunlight, just like do what human beings are supposed to do. Eat meat, get sun, exercise, socialize, that sort of stuff. How much body massage help in getting silence? Well, again, that's one of those questions like how long is a piece of string? Just do functional patterns. That's the way that I see it. There is a massive storm coming in right now. It's huge. Rainy season in Thailand, huh? All right, couple more minutes. If anyone has any questions, don't be shy. Let me know. And if you're in Triumph over Tinnitus 3 and you want to get this 199 pages of everything that I know about tinnitus, then send me a message. It's pretty amazing. I was actually reading through it the other day and it's pretty, if I do say so myself, it's pretty fucking cool. I take temazepam to help me sleep and I want to stop taking them, but I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep without them. Well, speak to your psychiatrist and, make a plan. Because yeah, that shit's toxic. Okay, we'll end it there. Lovely speaking to you guys. Have a lovely day, and tinnitus is not for life. Bye-bye.